Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Hazard12 here, and today I have got a really exciting video to show you. I've been messing around with some custom tactics and I've stumbled across an absolute gem. Before we get into it though, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel lately. I've had a few more likes and views and some people subscribed to the channel, so I just want to say I am really grateful and I really do appreciate it. Getting into the video then, the way it's going to work is I'm going to have the tactics in the background that you guys can look at whilst I just talk really. There is a defensive version, an attacking version. It's a 4-4-2, something that people have been using I think quite a lot throughout the game this year. I will say I haven't ever Googled, YouTubed or whatever custom tactics for FIFA 21. I don't really know what people are using. I don't know what's popular. Obviously I'm on Twitter, so I can see what people tweet about and stuff, especially throughout Weekend League, but I've never actually actively gone out there and searched, so I'm not sure what's popular. I'm not sure if my tactics here are really crazy or weird. I'm not sure if they are pretty standard, but they are really effective. I know that for sure. So we've got some games coming up at the end of the video. I played two. Unfortunately, I did disconnect in the first game, so there's not as many highlights for that one. But in the second game, we scored some really nice goals. There are some really good bits of play, some really strong counter-attacks, and there's a few points that I'm going to make when the gameplay starts about why I like this tactic and how you guys can get the most out of it. In terms of the defending and attacking versions, I think the defensive version is really solid. I think it's good for a player who doesn't quite trust themselves at defending all too much. I think someone who may be worried about their defensive abilities, I think the defensive version is pretty strong in that case. And I think the attacking version is best suited for people who are confident going forward, who are confident having players, less players at the back defending counter-attacks, that kind of style. My personal preference is the attacking one, but it's purely because I like having my fullbacks going forward with me. I know that a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. That's the main difference between the two tactics, is having the fullbacks back or not. So it's a personal preference, it's a personal choice. I would recommend trying them both out, giving them both a go. I think that in tangent with the stay wide instructions on the wingers, having your fullbacks overlapping as well, it could just create an absolute overload for the opposition. So I definitely think if you sense that you're playing someone who's not quite as good as you, it's definitely worth giving it a go and experimenting and seeing if you can make it work. So yeah, the tactics are coming to the end. We're going to head into the gameplay. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to talk now about what I think is good about the tactic and what kind of players that you need to make the tactic work. In terms of personnel, the players that you need, I think the two most important positions are your centre mids and your wingers. The defensive version of the centre mid, you would have seen on the tactic, one of them would have been a little bit more conservative than the other one. In my case, I have Pirlo playing that role. I think it's really important that you have a player who's capable of winning a tackle and are capable at being good on the ball and good at passing. They don't need to be like 90 plus defending, crazy good at that, but they just need to be able to hold their own and not get shoved off the ball too easily. Passing is really important because you'll see more often than not that Pirlo is the person that tends to be the one that starts the attack, the assist before the assist before the assist kind of guy, and it's really important that he can expose the positions that your players are running into. So it's important to have a player with high passing, high dribbling, and pretty decent defending too. Moving on to the wingers then, there's not much to say about wingers, especially at this stage in FIFA. You're going to want pacey wide men, it's simple as that. Right, left footed, it doesn't make the world's biggest difference. As long as they can get in behind and they've got obviously high dribbling, they can take the man on, that's about it. I don't need to say an awful lot about wingers. The other role that I want to talk about in a bit of detail is the role that I'm playing Messi in. So you'll see on the tactics, one of the strikers is getting behind and the other one's just left on the default settings. The reason for that I leave Messi in that situation is because I want Messi filling in that gap between the defence and the midfield, and he does that really well. He's got really good passing, obviously, and really good dribbling, so he's going to be able to find spaces, and he's also going to be able to find the wingers when they're getting in behind, and the striker especially when he's getting in behind. It's much easier to find Messi than it is from this kind of area, from the area of midfield. It's much easier to find someone who's dropping in than it is someone who's trying to make a run in behind. And once you'll see it, if you use it yourselves, you'll see he's finding spaces and he's exploiting the gaps, and it's a really strong position to be in, because he's either got to bring his midfielders back and leave the other two centre mids free, or bring out a defender and leave someone else further forward free. It also means that you can go either forward, backwards, or to the side, which isn't very often you'll find yourself in that position in FIFA. And now that I've said it, you'll realise you never really have an option to go all three different ways. It tends to be one or two. And if you've got the option to go two or three or different ways, then being unpredictable becomes a lot easier. And that means you're going to create more chances and score more goals. In terms of the defence, I think that you can see here in a couple of the clips, I've got obviously my fullbacks coming forward, and I know that some people don't like that. I said it before, but it makes such a big difference. You'll see that I'm still got my players go forward, join the attack or whatever, but they're still defending. Yeah, we concede and I look like a bit of a donut now. It's just me being a sausage, but they are still in position. It's just me moving my centre half out of the way for some unknown reason. So it's just because it says join the attack doesn't mean they're never going to be in defence. So I think that it makes a massive difference having them going forward and helping out. I think having the high depth is overlooked. I think it's crucial to have a high depth. The starting position of your midfielders means that you're much more likely to win the ball back in your opponent's half the further up the pitch that they are. So you can see from the tactic and the videos that the highlights that I'm showing, that it creates an awful lot of good goal scoring opportunities, and they play really good football at times, especially in the last 15-20 minutes. My opponent's chasing the game here, and there are a few counter attacks we spring together, and it's just so satisfying to play. I don't know about you guys, but when you play a nice bit of FIFA, when you play some really good football and you score a really good goal, it feels so good. And you can see from the runners off the ball, we've got players coming from everywhere. It's just so fun and so unpredictable, and I really recommend giving it a go. The video is going to wind down now. This is going to be the last highlight of the game. I just want to say another big thank you to everybody. I really appreciate any kind of support. If you could drop a like and subscribe, it would be the world to me. I would really appreciate it. I want to see how far this can go. I'm really enjoying making content. So if you guys are enjoying it as well, then please do let me know, and I'll continue to get some videos out for you. Anyway, that is going to be it, guys. Give it a go. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you all next time.